through an experience that I wanted to share with you. And the experience is as follows. I've done a lot of workshops, speaking engagements, a conference, and so forth. And I see that there's a world of online content. And I thought, hey, how difficult can it be? And I tried it and I failed miserably. Hence why we are sitting today with Nico from Tycoon Tribe, who you probably know as your normal host of this show. Nico, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for interviewing me. I'm looking forward.
So, Nico, you've seen hundreds of people come to your studios. Why do they come to you? Why are they here?
I think, well, mostly what we enjoy doing here is because we shoot video material. It's kind of difficult for people to make the transition sometimes from talking on a stage and then recording it on video because it's so cold. It's when you walk into the studio and it's just the cold, hard light and the camera, it freaks people out a bit.
What is it that is so different from speaking in front? Everybody has had conversations with a friend, with a client. Everybody has had engagement with an audience. What is it that makes it so difficult to make the switch?
I think authenticity is at the heart of everything. So when you make a real connection with somebody, that is true authenticity. And I think on a stage, people tend to be more performative. So they're performing and they're projecting. So they're a little bit larger than life. And there's an energy that's bigger about it. And audiences are possibly a bit more forgiving in an audience in the house. Whereas on television or watching something on YouTube, people may be thinking to click right now because this is too boring for words. And it's not making a connection with them.
So there's a sort of a friction element in a live audience. You have to stand up and walk out of a conference. Where here, you're just clicking away.
Oh, exactly. In the olden days of television, when people still watch television a lot, they would say that the click out rate is 10 seconds because somebody's looking for the remote. Where now, most chances, people sitting watching this clip are sitting with their finger on that button, and within a second, they can make that decision to get out of there.
Nico, for me, one of the things that I struggled in the training that you've given me was I look at the camera and I'm in person, I look at you and I see your reaction and I think of what to say and so forth. I get no reaction to the camera. What kind of tips can you give them? Whether it's a professional equipment like we have here or it's your phone?
I think that's the hardest part. Breaking the glass is really the hardest part, and it's important to see somebody on the other side of the lens. And you really have to talk to somebody with your whole heart and invest everything, because just a moment of panic in your eye or disconnect would translate for somebody who's watching this. And if they sense that there's something that's not real, or they sense that there's something uncomfortable, they may not always know what it is, but they're gonna disengage, and then they're gonna be out of there.
And on that note, for example, during the training, you were somewhat formulaic in saying, guys, this is actually what works. This is the formula, the scripting formula, the movies formula. Some of us, and especially me, for example, I would say, no, but that's not me.
Yeah.
How would you balance the me with authenticity to this formulaic approach?
Sure. As a creative, at a young age, I used to kick against formula. And anything that was structural freaked me out because I thought it was boxing me in.
Yeah.
But the truth is that structure actually just sets you free. So the moment that you understand structure and balance and how it all sits together, you have a better understanding of how to manipulate it or to use it in order to get your information to make a good link or a good connection. So I think it sets you free. But it's very important to know not to repeat things, not to have things out of context, because the moment that somebody's wondering about what you're saying next and they're not following a natural thread of things coming, they're going to tune out because they get confused. People get confused. And now, because it's so easy to tune out, they click.
It's interesting while we were doing that, I see the parallel. So I'm a squash player, and I see the parallel to squash, and I played for many years with a style. And when I started taking lessons, we went back to the basics, getting the fundamentals, and it slowed down my game completely. Like today in the training session, I felt, my God, I can't even speak properly. I can't put two sentences together. My brain goes mush. How do you bring this about to people? You're actually retraining them to communicate.
It's a sequence. I mean, there's so much happening. And what I'm thrilled about is you talked about your previous life as a pilot. And I didn't know about this either. But when you dissect stuff there are certain rules and there's certain things that should be in place. And once you practice that so that it almost becomes second nature and you don't have to think about, driving a stick shift car.
Yes.
At some stage, when you start indicating, it's automatic that you would put the clutch, change the gear down, get the indication on, look in the rearview mirror, look at them. There's a sequence of stuff that you don't even think about that you do automatically. And I think that if you break things down into its basis, you start understanding that, and then for speaking, it becomes easier.
It's a scary world in a way. I've seen clips out there that I don't know how come they got 2 million views. But this is the world we live in, and you can either stay in the house while the tide goes up and one day drown, or you can jump on the boat,
in and
as
swim.
wobbly as it looks, and embrace this exciting new world. Nico, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here.